Oke, bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Maulana Murad Ibrahim. I'm a student from class XRPL and right now in the second semester. And in today's video, I'm gonna do a tutorial telling you guys about how to install Tailwind CSS using CLI into our VS Code file, where it's different from before. Before I did a tutorial about how to install it, or not actually install it, but how to use Tailwind CSS by using CDN, which is a way to use Tailwind CSS by a line of script inside our header in our VS Code file, in our HTML file. But now it's different because I'm going to tell you guys how to actually install Tailwind CSS into our VS Code file so that all of the features of Tailwind can be used and we can use it for our project. So yeah, that's basically it. So CLI is basically a better way, or the more the better way to use Tailwind, to install Tailwind instead of CDN. That's why I'm making this video so that you all know how to install Tailwind by CLI. So yeah, the first step that you want to do is to open the Tailwind CSS.com, and we're gonna move, and we're gonna be shown the front page of Tailwind CSS. We can just click this button, the Get Started button, and uh, we're going to go straight. If we click that button, we're going to go straight into the installation part, which and there's many different types of way for us to install CSS, and one of the way is CLI. So, and this was CDN before, uh, the way that I used Tailwind in the last video tutorial, and this time we're gonna actually use CLI. So in CLI, there's the first step, which is actually installing the Tailwind CSS. And for this, we need to prepare our VS Code file, and we need to open the terminal, or Control Shift back this icon. I don't know how to say it. And then open a new terminal, and then we need to type in npm install /d tailwind css. So npm install -d tailwind css. So it's gonna load. It's gonna download all of the files needed to install tailwind css. So it's gonna be quite a while. So you just need to wait for it. It's taking longer than expected. You know what? While it's downloading, I'm gonna explain uh, the rest, the next step. So after we've installed the Tailwind, we're gonna execute or npx the Tailwind inside our VS Code. So after installing, we can execute it, use it for our project. So yeah, this already done. Downloading. So after downloading, we're gonna be given three files, one folder into JSON files. This is all of the things that we've downloaded. So yeah, but this actually not complete because we need to have a tailwind.config.js. So actually, we can uninstall Tailwind again. So npm uninstall Tailwind css, and there's actually a better code to install Tailwind css, which is npm install -d capital D Tailwind CSS post CSS and auto prefixer. So it is the code, and then enter. It's gonna download again. So this is actually the one. So we're actually combining the installation of CLI and also post CSS. Because in post CSS the code is actually the one that I just typed in before. Tailwind CSS post CSS auto prefixer. Which is this one right here. So yeah, that is done downloading, and yeah, found zero vulnerability, so that means it worked. So after that, we're gonna go back to Tailwind CLI, and we're gonna create our tailwind.config.js. So we're just gonna make the file, so tailwind.config.js. Then we can just copy all of this from the Tailwind CSS website, copy it and then paste it in our config.js. So yeah, with this we can detect all of the content or the contents that we want to edit, so that Tailwind knows which files that we want to edit. So this means like from root, from which folder, and every single folder inside that folder, and every single file inside that folder, the src folder, and every single file that the type is HTML and JS will be affected by the Tailwind installation or the Tailwind uh, library. So every single HTML, JS, and JS file inside the SRC will be affected by Tailwind. So that's the use of tailwind.config.js. And then after that, we need to make a folder on named src, short for source. And inside that src, we need to make a file and make sure to create the file by right clicking the src so that the file is inside the src folder, and we need to name the file input.css. And then inside the input.css, we need to copy all of these Tailwind base, components, and utilities. Okay, so that's it for input.css. Next, we're going to make our output the CSS, or the CSS that will be used to edit our HTML file. Talking about HTML, we should probably make the HTML first. So index.html, and then exclamation mark and enter, and then we're gonna link the CSS later on. So we're gonna go back to tailwindcss.com, and we need to start the Tailwind CLI build process by typing in these line of codes inside the terminal. So you can just copy it. So open VS Code, open our terminal, and paste in npx or execute Tailwind CSS input in the input CSS file inside the src, and the output is going to be the output CSS inside the src as well. There is no output CSS yet inside the src, but if we type this in, oh yeah, and also watch is so that every single change that happens inside our VS Code file will be sent to Tailwind CSS, so that the change can be changed immediately. So we don't need to refresh every time we change something, and it will be automatically refreshed by Tailwind itself. So yeah, just click enter, rebuilding, and you see output CSS is automatically added because we typed in output src output css, and the output css is inside the src folder. And then the last step is to just, as you can see from the website, is to just link our HTML to the output CSS. So actually we need to move our index inside the SRC as well. So move it inside SRC. And then we just need to type in link CSS and output CSS. Or you can add in a root as well, so it's more complete. And then we can check by, actually we should not add it first so that we know the difference between having a CSS in our HTML file and not. So first we should add a h1 or header 1, voila, and then we can open with live server. Oh yeah, don't forget to add an extension called Tailwind. Wait a minute, it's loading. I think there's around 3 plugins that we need to, or 3 extensions that we should install. First one is post CSS. So it's this one, post CSS language support. We need to download that. And then the next one is live server. This one, live server by Retweet Day. We need to install that as well. And then the last one is Tailwind, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense by Tailwind Labs. So those are the 3 extensions that we should download before actually starting the tutorial, but I forgot. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell you all right now. Yeah, and then with that, we can open our index file or the HTML file with Alt L and Alt O, or we can just right click and open it. And this is the UI or the display if we don't have Tailwind installed to our HTML file. But if we connect, or if we connect our HTML file to our CSS file, and remember we should connect it to output CSS, not input, because output is actually the one that changes things inside the HTML, not the input. Input is just a way to transfer the Tailwind features into our output CSS. So open it again. If your text becomes more smaller, I guess, that means it works. So you can edit it by adding a class inside the header 1, for example text 3XL, I mean 6XL. It's gonna auto refresh because we added the watch, uh, text inside our terminal code. Is gonna auto refresh and our text will be bigger because we added the text 6XL, which means we upsize it by 6XL. So yeah, that's how you install or use Tailwind, by installing the Tailwind to our HTML file using CLI, not CDN, because CLI is much better. So basically CDN is for smaller files or smaller prototypes, and CLI is for actually big projects that you want to do. So if you actually want to do a big projects with your team, with your company or whatever, you should download it, or you should download Tailwind using CLI instead of CDN, because the feature is more complete and is better, probably better. There's no bugs inside CLI, where sometimes in CDN there's little bugs, but there's not too many. So yeah, those are the ways. I've shown you the way to install Tailwind using CLI. I hope this is useful for any of you who wants to start coding using the Tailwind library. And yeah, maybe that's it. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.